This is a Merrick Studios podcast. This week on Two Mothers, One Aché.
This is going to be a good one. 2 words. Got it.
2 words. So simple, but so powerful. Your brain goes, I should have known. Cancel, cancel. Why didn't I say cancel, cancel? I wanted to do cancel, cancel. That was so stupid. Cancel, cancel. Welcome to Two Mothers, One Aché, a grief dialogue. I'm Dionne.
And I'm Yvette. We're mothers, friends, and sisters in grief.
I lost my daughter, Siwe, at 15 years old.
And I lost my son, Dasan, at 26.
This podcast is our space to talk about grief, how it shapes us, how it lingers, and how love carries us through. Welcome to the conversation.
Hey, football fans, you could win a once-in-a-lifetime trip to the 2026 Pro Football Hall of Fame Enshrinement Events, in person, in Canton. How do you kick this off? Grab Snapdragon apples at your local store, then go to snapdragonapple.com for official rules and enter. No purchase necessary. Ends February 28th, 2026. Open to U.S. residents 18 and older. Void where prohibited.
Hey, girl.
I'm just trying to figure out if I'm centered or not. It's like that little OCD situation.
Tell her she's centered, okay? Tell her she's centered. She's centered, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, girl.
Thank you, D, and thank you, the people them tuning in.
The people them. You look so good.
I'm gonna look at the camera and not look at myself because, I'm. You know what? I'm gonna minimize myself on the screen. How about that? There you go.
All right. Well,
now I could barely see myself, so I'm not gonna obsess.
I didn't even know we could do that. But anyhow, I need to breathe. I've already had a rough day. Can we breathe, please?
Yes, it's only it's dumb early. Well, we want to keep this content evergreen, so I won't say what day or what time it is. But sis, if you're saying that at this hour you've already had a day, then please let's breathe.
Thank you. Let me tell you, people. Even before we came on camera, I said to Yvette, I was like, can we breathe before we breathe? So this is sincerely Dionne being Dionne. I am going to close my eyes. And our family that we have not met yet, we start with breathing so we can center ourselves, connect with you, and hold space for the work and the conversation we'll have. I tend to put one hand on my heart and one hand on my belly. So I'm going to do the humming bee breath to really push the thoughts out. The Brahmari, or the humming bee breath, is said to be the breath of the busy mind. So as we hum, we inhale, and as we exhale, we just hum it out until there's no more air. We're only going to do it 3 times. Take a deep breath in and hum it out. Just one more time together. Oh, bless us. Bless us all. I hope you got
This is the first time I've sneezed on air. And I'm going to tell you, I know that I'm having some sort of asthmatic reaction right now. I'm asthmatic, you guys. And because I couldn't stabilize my breath and the humming made it a little bit more difficult. And I felt things moving. Right. And so thank you for that. I hope that you guys are also having this very physical reaction to that breath work. This is a new one for us. And I'll be here for it, D. Thank you.
And for our friends that are driving, I know we have some listeners that listen as they drive to and from work. So try it when you get home, because you can feel the vibrations in your chin, your throat, your chest, all throughout your body. Because as you're humming, you feel the vibration in your body and it shifts your attention. So that really did it for me. And it's ridiculous that I teach yoga constantly, I practice constantly, and I still forget to use some of these tools.
Yeah.
So it is a phenomenal tool. I'm glad it moved something for you, Evie. And I hope it moved something for you at home. Make sure you let us know.
I'm so glad that you admitted that sometimes that you even forget to use the tools that you have in your toolbox.
That's
Grief
right.
toolbox, life toolbox, because we're going to we've been doing this the past few episodes and we're going to continue to do it. I think it's really important that we come back to that toolbox.
Yeah.
Because every single episode, I feel it's chock full of tools that we're sharing with you guys from our lived experience and those of our guests. So please, pull out your notebooks, those that are not driving, like Dionne said, and, or, bookmark areas, on whichever platform you're listening to us on, and go back to it and really take away these tools, because I promise you, I wish I knew some of this stuff when
Say
I
it
was in
again.
school.
Yes, ma'am. I wish I knew a lot of this stuff. You are so right, Yvette.
Yeah. So, Dionne, you and I are grief practitioners, grief and wellness practitioners. And we have our own practices. And I want to put it back out there for you folks that are in need of private one-on-ones. Um, Again, Dionne does yoga. I do holistic aesthetics. Those are done in person. I encourage those in the tri-state area to come and visit us, take a class with Dionne, come get a facial or a Reiki session from me. Also, in our grief coaching practices, what do you call it? You don't call it coaching. You call it something else.
I say grief transformation because I want people to get what we talk about. Like, you're never going to get over it, but you can transform certain things. I feel, and you know this, Yvette, but thank you for bringing it up, that we are all alchemists. We're constantly transforming things. So calling it a thing, I say grief transformation support, because you may not even think of that concept. So I have group programs, I have private. So I'm actually finishing up a group this next week. We've been together for 3 months and building community in the same way we're building community here. And it's been wonderful to watch the progression and the aha moments. Even Yvette and I still have aha moments on this, but to see the aha moments with our clients, and to hear from the listeners, the messages that we get. Oh, wait, Eva, you got to tell them about the people.
Today's episode?
Yeah.
Yes. So listen, I was going to bring it around to that. So today's episode, it really is dedicated to our listeners and our supporters that have questions, that maybe they're not ready to take the full step and the commitment to themselves to seek out the one-on-one assistance from Dionne and I. And so I want to be able to open up these questions in this episode. So, but before we begin the conversation, before we get into the thick of it, I love a good disclaimer. And, we want to make sure that we talk about the sensitive nature, that the details of grief. You'll find that Dionne and I almost never ask, well, how did your loved one pass away?
Absolutely not.
Right? Because if and when you're ready to share that, we receive that, we try to help you. It gives us some insight into maybe some aspects of your grief journey. So out of respect and care for that, what's the word I'm looking for, Dionne, for that aspect of this, of the conversation that we're having today, we won't be reading full messages. We're going to clean it up a little bit, because, we want to make sure that we're holding space and our hearts for what people have shared with us. So we're taking great care.
Yeah, and we've been really for safe messaging. When we talk about suicide prevention, grief, we want safe messaging so nothing is too activating, and to really respect the privacy of you, the listener, and encouraging you who have not shared or haven't reached out to us yet to know that it's safe to reach out to us, and we can share the conversation and discussion without releasing your privacy.
Yeah. And a little further, Dionne, do you find that people will say to you, oh, like they're in crisis or they're hurting or they're in active grief and having episodes? Do you find that they'll be like, oh, I wanted to reach out, but I didn't want to like trigger you, Dionne, right? Or they'll
Absolutely.
say that to me. And it's
Absolutely.
beautiful because they wanna respect our space and our grief process. But I'm gonna tell you, and I hope I say this to give you all the confidence in the world to reach out to us. Dionne and I have done enough work that now we are prepared to help others. And if we weren't in that position, we wouldn't be doing this today.
Absolutely. And there's a part of it, and I don't know if you feel like this, Yvette, but there's a part of it, especially since, we know my daughter died by suicide, to have a close friend and find out afterward that her daughter attempted suicide and she didn't reach out to me. And I was like, if I can speak on national TV and have clients and speak at all these different organizations locally and nationally and even internationally, it hurts that I can't help a friend.
It does hurt.
I was like, and now I didn't say this to her. Now I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I want her to listen to this. But I was like, I don't want to just help strangers. I want to help the people that I love. This is why I've been so public with this, so we can all get help.
Yeah.
So, and thankfully, maybe she'll be fine because that daughter is fine. She's married with 2 kids, cat, dog, like everything is great. Got through that. But it was like, oh my God, just talk to us.
So we want to recognize the humanity in everyone that's reaching out, that has reached out, comments, questions. I want to recognize the bravery it takes and the vulnerability that it takes. And I just want to say that here at Two Mothers One Aché, we offer you light and progress, luz y progreso, to move forward in your grief journey. So we've done the breath work. That's out of the way. I'll ask the first question from our listener.
Okay.
So very quick backstory. And guys, I'm reading a lot today, obvi. So this question came from someone who said the silence didn't happen all at once. It faded slowly. They were angry. They were not angry. Sorry, they were not angry. They were just lonely and unsure how to ask without apologizing for their pain. So the question is, my friends stopped checking on me. How do I ask for support without feeling needy?
Ooh, well, that's a whole word. And what I have to say is closed mouths don't get fed. Closed mouths.
Did you know that I say that like damn near daily? Like I say that all the time to people. But that's such an old saying, but it rings. It rings.
Because when you read the question, I thought to myself, but when I consider myself childlike, you know me, like the silliness, the way I dance around, I'm not going to digress. So kids will jump up and down, they will scream, they will have a tantrum, and nobody gets upset because they're being a child. They're asking for what they need in the way they know how to. Nobody is mad at a baby when they're crying. They're like, oh, let me figure it out. It's like you're playing charades. Are they wet? Are they hungry? Are they tired? Like, what is the thing that they need? So I want to lead with that going, listener, your needs are important, and you ask for them simply by saying, I feel alone. I feel tired. I feel like I need somebody to just sit on the couch with me. I need somebody to have a cup of tea with me. Whatever the thing is that you need. Mine is normally company. So that's what I often offer, company. So it was like, just come over, play a game. Come play
Yeah.
a game.
I honestly, I don't have much to add to that. That was, in my eyes, perfect. It's
Mm.
perfection. Um, Maybe if I had to add something to that, I would say children are fearless, which is
Mm-hmm.
right. Children say whatever they wanna say. There's, like, this beautiful innocence
Yeah.
that allows them to just exist exactly as who they are. And I would I would venture to say, again, I'm no expert, but I've done a lot of work in this area. I would venture to say that to tap into that child's energy helps to heal the inner child in you, which
Mm.
then allows you to be a little bit more authentic to who you are.
Yes. I love that. I love
Yeah,
that. Thank you.
yeah.
Ooh.
It's
Can I?
beautiful. It's a beautiful sentiment, and I will tell you, my default when I need help is I will say, and you guys listen up because if you ever hear me say this, jump in. If I say today is not a good day,
Mm,
just jump in.
thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
All right. I got it. Today is not a good day. I'm writing it down here.
Today
Um,
is not a good day, and honestly, that's my way of inviting those that love me into the space.
this one I think came up so much. And if you've watched the episode where we had What Do I Say? Please go watch What Do I Say? Go watch all of them. But this one, the listener shared moments of joy and that they now come as a shadow, like
Mm,
happiness is somehow a betrayal. And
mm,
one of the things I call myself is the chief joy connector, and my business name is Joyous Ocean. So reading that and hearing the question, is it normal to feel guilty for living my life after someone dies?
mm,
And I was hankering to do this one. I should have brought it with me, but it is normal. Let me say that first. What you're feeling is normal. But what I will invite you to, and sometimes there's mixed feelings about what I will say next. I'll see how Yvette feels about it, is that living your life is an honor and a service to that person. And after my daughter died by suicide, I was so clear in hearing her say at a very young age, she was like 12 or 13, that the problem with adults is that adults tell children they can be anything they want to be, they can do anything they don't want to do, and they watch us walking around being miserable and not living our truths.
mm,
So to me, it absolutely felt like it was a call to action for me to live my life. So, in giving myself permission, like I'm doing all the stuff that my loved one can't do, I am living my life in honor of them and creating experiences that they cannot experience. They, from wherever they are, can see through my eyes and live through my body these experiences that I am going to soak up, fill up, jump into, and create experiences that I would have liked to hold their hands and turn my head and be like, hey, girl, did you see? Or what about? But now in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, Seaway, we did that. Oh my God, Grandma, I did that. Oh
mhm,
my, like, we did that. So
yeah,
I say yes, yes, yes. Thank you for asking. It is okay to feel guilty. And, but it's also important that you continue to live your life after
mhm,
someone dies.
mhm,
Because so many people that are grieving, and I'm going to pass it to you, Evie, I promise. So many people that are grieving, we wind up dealing with clients that are the children of the people that it was like, oh, when my brother died, I lost my mom too. She was alive, but she stopped living.
yes,
When my father died, I lost my mom too because my mom stopped living.
yes, that's right. Thank you for that, Dee. I have 2 stories,
Mm-hmm.
pretty quick stories. First one, I've told this story maybe before, but partially, when I got the call from Renata. my daughter-in-law that Dasan was in the hospital. I was in Vermont, just Eva and I had to, drive down. Took 7 hours to get to the hospital. In that drive, within those 7 hours, Renata calls, and we had heard that she had just gotten the news that Dasan went without oxygen for 40 minutes. I knew in that moment that we needed a miracle, and nothing short of a miracle would help him get through this. But at the same time, I knew he was going to die. She was on speakerphone when she told me this, so Eva heard it. Eva didn't know at 11 years old the significance of going without oxygen for 40 minutes. What is the reality of that?
Yeah.
And I gripped the steering wheel. I white knuckled it. And I said, I need to make you a promise, and I need you to make me a promise. I said, no matter what happens to brother, no matter what the outcome is with brother, I promise you that I'm going to continue living. Would you please promise me the same thing? Okay? Because we have to continue to live. Even if brother dies, we are still alive. And whatever that takes, and I don't even know what that's going to take, we have to continue to do it. And she said, I promise you, mommy. And I'm sure she did not understand the brevity of that promise, but I promise you, she remembers the conversation. And throughout her life, it'll support her in moving forward, because we have lives to live. We are here. I am not the one that died. Eva's not the one that died. And I'll bring it back to Renata. Renata was not the one that died. Dasan and Renata have been together for 6 years at that point. He was 26. So they had been with each other for 6, 12, 18, 12, like a quarter of their life. Okay. And I had to look at my daughter-in-law, and I had to see the woman that she is outside of the marriage to my son. And I said, if I was going to be a mother to this young woman, I had to be her mother now, not her mother-in-law, her mother. And I had to say, she has to move on with her life. And I have to give her permission to do that, because she will sit in the grief of losing her husband at 26 years old. What do you do with that? So to your point, although you and I speak to a lot of people who have lost their parent and they feel untethered, that's the phenomenon with losing a parent. You feel untethered to the world. Your connection for your source of life is now gone, and now I'm untethered. But when you lose a spouse, and I think this is where a lot of guilt comes into play. I had this love. It wasn't like the love goes away.
Right.
It does not. You did not divorce. In Eva, in Ren and Dasan's case, they were as happy as they could be, and he's no longer here. So, what does she do with that? What does she do with those emotions? And how could she? And I, without telling Ren's business, because I will not do that, I will protect her to all extent. I remember the day where she was seeking permission to move forward without asking for permission to move forward. And I picked it up with my mother's intuition. And I told her, you can't stay stuck in that place. You cannot do that to yourself as a vibrant young woman. You cannot ever do that. And guess what? You can also continue to love him. So,
girl,
they do not feel guilty about living life.
We need to take some more breaths, girl. You done snatched my pearls, my edges, oh my goodness.
Oh,
we didn't tell y'all need to have tissues for these episodes. Sorry.
By the way, that was I think that was episode 1 where we told you in the toolbox.
Okay, we did. That's right.
Box of tissues, sunglasses, the things. So
Okay.
box of tissues in the toolbox. I'll do question 3. So
thank you.
You could keep the momentum moving forward. This message mentioned replaying conversations late at night. Ooh, those quiet moments, D. Remember those?
Yeah, girl.
And the I should have called, I should have known, I should have done, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Okay. And the question is, how do I forgive myself for the things I didn't do before my loved one died?
Child.
Baby.
Child.
Baby. So I'll go first.
Thank you.
And listen, D, if you can't, you can't. Okay. So I shared in our episode about addiction that I knew. I knew that the son wasn't well. I had known for a while. And, but we talked about addiction and all the difficulties and the complexities of addiction. But I want to make this as general as possible. We all come here with our lot in life.
That's right.
We all have our individual journeys.
Yes.
God has willed it that we tether ourselves, that we have relationships, that we meet people along the way, that we share this existence with others. But Dasan's existence was not my existence. My existence is my existence.
That's right.
I did everything that I could as a parent. I did everything that I could as a human being who loved this human being with all of my heart. At a certain point, and how to is really as individual as a situation. So again, being general, what I eventually had to do was I had to tap into my love energy. I had to recognize that I loved this child immensely. And that eventually, with time, allowed me to forgive whatever my shortcomings were.
Oh, girl. Yes. Thank you for that.
So love. Love is, you lead with love, right? We often say this.
Yeah.
Grace, love, mercy for ourselves first.
Yeah. Well, in my current recovering, as I'm listening to you and the last story and seeing you in the car with your daughter, seeing you have the conversation with Renata, your daughter in love, and just hearing you say that and the conversations. What I will say, and it's so apropos that I did the breath of the busy mind, the Brahmari, buzzy humming bee breath. Our minds do what they do. The brain is constantly churning. The brain is constantly coming up why didn't I do this? Why didn't I say that? Darn. That comeback that you didn't have when somebody was doing something. Like if you grow up in the hood, like you had the dozens rap, you had the Spitfire words. So the words come because the brain is constantly working. But on the flip side, the brain constantly working can sometimes feel like it works against our higher good. So something that I may not have mentioned in terms of our toolkit is 2 words that I got from another coach that I've been thankful for since the 90s, the
Hold on,
olden
let me get my
days.
pen because I got to write this down. I know this is going to be a good one. 2 words. Got it.
2 words. So simple, but so powerful. Your brain goes, I should have known. Cancel, cancel. Why didn't I say cancel, cancel? I wanted to do cancel, cancel. That was so stupid. Cancel, cancel.
That has an
Literally.
exclamation point at the end, by the way.
It's 2 simple words. And that to me starts the forgiving process because you only need to forgive yourself because you're making yourself wrong for not knowing something you didn't know. It's like you're not mad at a 2-year-old for not being able to drive a car. They don't know how to drive a car. So another thing, I used to have it written on my desk, and sometimes I like writing affirmations, not just saying them. I want to write them and I want to see them in my handwriting to speak to me. So this one you might like too, Yvette.
Okay.
I am doing the best I can, and that is enough.
Yeah.
Because like when you tell somebody I'm doing my best, unfortunately, in certain countries, especially speaking for the United States of America, you will be made to feel that your best is not enough. If you have given all you have to give, and mom, dad, sister, brother, human, family, you didn't do something because you didn't know. You're judging your past self with your present information.
Come on, D.
So I can't, and I love it. My niece said, she's only 21. So she says there's certain things like this where they have traumatic experience with parents or family members. And you think about it, it's like, oh, yeah, when I was 3 years old, I should have been figuring out how to do CPR. That's why that happened, and they make it ridiculous for you to see, like, I didn't know that back then. So please, listener, please forgive yourself, because there's no reason to be upset with yourself for not knowing what you don't know. Yvette and I don't know what we don't know.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to start, listener, I'm going to start you off. Listener, I forgive you for what you did not know.
Aché.
And I love you even through your imperfections.
Say that again. That lands it in my whole body.
Yeah. I love you even through your imperfections. Okay? And you can turn those two statements back on yourself. And I highly recommend that you do. Next question, D.
I'm over here forgiving myself. 1 second. Okay. I'm forgiving myself. I don't know what I'm forgiving myself for, but I'm forgiving myself.
That's all right.
Okay. So this one, some questions, they don't come from curiosity, right? We're talking about kids. Kids are really curious. Why? What is that? I don't understand.
Yeah.
But they come from recognition, right? So this question is a good one, and we'll see who answers it first. So let's see if you're ready for this, Yvette.
Okay.
What's the hardest moment you each remember from your grief journeys? I was like, ooh, child, thank you.
Yeah. I have two that come to mind immediately. So this is Dasan giving me permission. Coming to terms with, well, no, let me reword that. Hearing that Dasan died from an overdose, but that overdosing on kratom was a contributor to his cardiac arrest. That his kratom use was a contributor to his cardiac arrest. And having to hear that information 6 months into my grieving journey and having to relive the grief through a different lens was probably, it's up there with the difficulty of my grief journey. And then the second one, and I don't know, y'all could go ahead and comment after the fact. It was difficult for me to hear myself say out loud that, given what I know about addiction, Dasan was better off. Like, God gave him a pass by taking him early. And God saved him from a life in addiction.
Wow.
Which I stand on, it would have been harder for him to live than to die, his existence. But that was not an easy moment for me to get to. And I'm like tearing my finger up right now off camera, like literally, like just hearing myself say it again. He he's better off not here with us.
Ooh, child. Okay, take a breath, Yvette. Take a breath. That was a lot. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for those 2 moments. All of your moments are just so powerful.
And we'll be right back.
Welcome to Merrick Studios, where stories take the mic and culture comes alive.
We're not just a network, we're family, bringing you smart, soulful, unfiltered conversations.
And this season, we're bringing the heat with our biggest lineup yet. Whatever you're into, music, sports, business, we got you covered.
Merrick Studios, where the conversation starts and keeps going.
Check out our full lineup, including Unglossy with Bun B, Jeffrey Sledge, and myself, Tom Frank. Now streaming at wearemerrickstudios.com.
Master the art of lyricism with Pendulum Mink, the first school for rap. Learn elite techniques through immersive lessons, real-world exercises, and guidance from hip-hop icons. This is where MCs sharpen their skills and glow boldly on the mic. Ready to level up? Visit pendulummink.com and start your journey today.
And now, back to the show.
And I'll tell you, though, there's peace. There's peace in recognizing the difficulties in this grief journey. And here goes our tool. Okay?
Yeah.
We talked about grief needing to be witnessed.
Yes, you did.
When you witness your grief, especially the difficult moments, you are inviting yourself to peace. Take the opportunity. Don't stay stuck in the pain. And with that, I shut up.
Oh, ay, gracias, que Dios. That was beautiful. And what you just said is definitely worth repeating, is that when grief is not witnessed, then pain gets to run the show.
That's right.
And allowing yourself to live in pain is where so many of our clients come from. And I said allow, that wasn't the right word. They didn't know a different way. And that's what Yvette and I do, is model on this podcast in our lives and then teach with our clients how there is a different way to go on a journey with grief. And I'm always modeling in my little 5-year-old self, like we're locking arms. I'm holding hands with grief on one side, now holding hands with joy on the other side, and we're going to skip off to our destination because they're not going to leave me. Like, honestly, I could probably try to let go of grief's hand, but they coming anyhow because grief is loyal.
That's right.
But joy is the one I have to hold tight to. It's fleeting. Joy doesn't have the same loyalty that grief does. Joy, you have to be like, girl, can you come on over here, please?
I'm writing that down. Joy is not as loyal as grief. Come on, that's a quotable.
Yeah, it's not. So I have to work at my joy. So if I sit in the pain and I'm constantly sitting in the grief is going to be like, yeah, again, I'm the man. Grief over here brushing his shoulders off. He like, yeah, I'm running their life.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Grief is a bully.
Let me not ignore, it's such a bully. Okay, let me not deflect. Let me come back to answering this question. The hardest moment I remember from my grief journey, I went through like a series. It felt like I was watching a movie in my mind's eye, trying to see, well, what was the hardest moment? And there are probably so many, but prequel. I don't like dead bodies. I don't want to see dead bodies. I don't watch dead bodies in movies. I consciously choose not to look at death. So I have to say the difficult moment is I have identified, I've shown pictures. I am her mother. This is her picture. This is me. And for them to say, I need to go see the body. I'm like, not me. Nah, you don't need me to do that. Why do I need to do that? And I refused. I literally refused. And I was like, well, somebody has to go with me. Like, I need another human to hold my hand and do this with me. And I sat in that hospital Columbia Presbyterian Hospital right here in Washington Heights.
Mm.
I sat in that hospital until my pastor, who
Mm.
happened to work in Harlem, could come meet me and go with me in that room because I wasn't going to do it.
Oof.
Because literally in my, I was like, it was literally like a little kid going, you're not the boss of me. You can't make me do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And after all of this, she went with me. We saw it. It was like, that was her. There's a whole different energy on that when I was like, okay, I see her. And this is bizarre. I don't know what you'll say about Dasan because there were other injuries happening in the hospital and the tubes and all of that. But with her, she was beautiful.
Mm.
I was looking at an angel. There was a level of shock in the disbelief with going, so I think seeing the body was important. And I think that's why the closure in funerals is important, even though it was the hardest moment I'd have to come back to. And take a breath, Yvette, I got you. And then and I don't understand and I don't remember why, I may have blocked it out, there was another point in time where I had to go, we did this at the hospital, then I had to go to the coroner's office and do it a motherfucking again. And I was like,
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
what do the kids now say? FML?
Yep.
Because I'm like, but I did that already. We are all clear she's gone. Why do I need to do this again? So again, I'm like, okay, who's going to do this with me? I am not going to the coroner's office. And even spiritually, the energy of going into a place with all of these bodies. Now I'm like, okay, I can do this. Like, how do I protect my crown? What do I do spiritually to go into this space? So, there are others, but those would have to be the ones where I was like, the things you can't unsee. I'm the person at the funeral for my grandfather sitting in the last row because I'm like, I don't want to see the body. It's like, oh, the family sits up here. The family can sit where they want to sit. And this family member is going to be in the back.
I'm good with all that. Okay.
So,
I'm ready to move on.
okay.
Yeah, let's move on.
Take a breath.
Whew. Child.
Lord, today.
I damn sure got, listen. Whew, I went back to that room, baby. Too much. Some of it is too much. Okay.
It is. It is. It is.
And by the way, I just want to say, look what we do for y'all, folks. Okay. But, at the same time, we lead by example, D. And it's okay to feel the feels. It's okay. Right? And this is a safe space. Dionne, I'm so proud of you that you were able to recall that as difficult. And we got to remember to show ourselves grace, give ourselves mercy, allow ourselves a safe space to just navigate as imperfectly as possible through this. Okay. This listener said that they were afraid that healing would mean forgetting. Or becoming someone unrecognizable to themselves. So the question is, was there a specific moment you realized you were starting to heal? You want to start this one off or you want me to go? I'm ready.
Go ahead. You go.
So healing for me meant never forgetting. Healing for me took on many different forms. But I would say that there wasn't a specific moment. There were a culmination of moments. But it was when I started to realize that I started healing. And it didn't feel like it. Let's be clear. It didn't feel like I was healing. But I realized I was starting to heal when I didn't cry for an entire day. And then that one day became 2 days. And then that one day, those 2 days became, a week eventually that I can go without crying. But that didn't come overnight. That didn't come in the first 6 months. That didn't come in the first year. That took a while for me to get to that point. But I realized that, in that moment, I think after putting in a lot of work, that I was getting someplace. I had progress. I was making progress in my healing journey.
Thank you for that. And I was thinking of one moment, and family, I keep interrupting myself, but listening is such an important part of your healing journey. So listening to Yvette tell her story, and it has me reflect and see myself at that point in time. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you'll see, like, both of us, one tends to cry more than the other. We both cry, but we both process emotions differently. So for me, not crying is not a sign of healing for me, right? Because I am so, I'm not stoic. Y'all don't see my faces. I'm real expressive. But, but tears, it's like I cry on the inside. It's almost like I have this really big energy. And when grief happens, I smile myself up. Everything pulls in, like everything is safe and protected in a ball somewhere inside of me.
And by the way, it's a ball of fire.
Yes.
My sister here is an Aries. Baby, do not listen. She's like a fire breathing dragon when that comes out. So, like, baby, give her a minute. She just got to process. That's it. She got to process.
That part. So I would say it was the part where I could look at and talk to people, because I had made myself so small, and there were at any given point 10 people in my house. And I literally would like walk through, because it was like, if you had, they say the horses, New York City, the horses, you put blinders on them, right?
Yeah.
I'm going through my house, trying to small myself up with my head down to go to the place I need to go to get back. And so it was being able to, like, oh, good morning, or hello, to engage outside of myself. Because I had to save, in my mind, I had 2 other young children at home. So all of my energy had to be available to speak when I had to speak.
Yeah.
My children deserved my energy, and I didn't have much of it. So if they were at school and they were not home, there were no talking to people. When we had to go to the funeral home, I was like, okay, Roger went with me. It was like, okay, we're going to talk to the people. And when it was hard to talk, I would just look at him. It would be these things like, and
yes.
And he would, like, it's like, we need a minute. Do we have to make that decision now? And I'd be like, in my brain, because there's no words, it's like, that's a good answer.
That's right. That is so on par for you. So on par. Oh my God, listener, thank you so much for that. Because it's
they're taking us through it. I gotta look at my Fitbit. It's gonna look like I had a workout. My heart is.
You go ahead next.
Okay, all right. Next, sorry. All right. So now, this is important when it talks about the social, right? Because moving to this next question, how do you, like, this listener said that they feel like they shut down, and they shut down with phrases. This is why I said you should watch. What do I say when people say, I know exactly how you feel?
Right.
Even though it's well-intended, so their question.
By the way, you skipped one. We're on 6.
Oh.
Go back.
Oh, that was clearly intentional.
Exactly. That says, you know what? I will call you out on it, honey, because
that was clearly intentional.
I know that I'm like the loud one. I'm the, But this one here, she'll snake her little way around the corners that she wants to avoid. Go back to the right question.
Okay. All right. 6. All right. What is, and I'm going to say it like an annoyed child. What's the biggest lesson grief taught you about yourself?
Well, I'm going to give you a timeout for a second to think about that, and then I'll go ahead and answer this one first.
Thank you.
The biggest and most important lesson my grief has taught me is that I have purpose. My life has purpose. And this is not just, I guess it came to a head with Dasan's passing. Because that was such a profound loss for me that I needed, let's be clear, needed to figure my way forward. But what was it all for? Was really the question. The underlying question for me was, what was it all for? And it being all of the trauma, all of the things, the culmination of everything in my life, all the grief, all of the, the grief of lost ones, right? So like the apparent grief and then the inapparent grief. And out of that, really, and this is going to sound so cliche, I don't care. It was literally a phoenix flying out of the ashes.
Wow.
I understood my purpose. And I'm here today speaking on this platform with one of my, closest sisters, one of my greatest friends, a teacher for me on how to navigate through this, living my purpose, living in it. And so these tears in particular that are welling up right now are that of release and relief and grace and peace and love.
Ooh, thank you for that. Thank you. And I think I said it in one of the earlier episodes that I lean into comedy as escape, but am definitely very fully present. And so that's the awkward of laughing through and making jokes through something. But grief actually taught me similar but different, as we're both young Caribbean females born on the mainland with islands away from here that are owned or properties of this country. So I say all that to say we were raised in a certain way and a certain way of being, and quite often told that various things, people, places, and things were the boss of us, in my 5-year-old phrasing. So there's so many things that are the boss of us that grief, the biggest lesson is like that I learned that grief changes everything. We were talking offline about physical health, emotional health, and the biochemistry of our physical body. Grief changes you at a cellular level.
Yes.
But my deepest learning is that even though it changes everything, it's not the boss of me. It does not get the final say. Grief does not get the final say. I get to choose how I grieve. And fuck anybody that wants to tell me how I should grieve and how that should look. Grief gave me the power to stand in my truth in a way that I'm like, you gonna want to back up right now.
Yeah. Bravo, sis. Bravo. And for the sake of time, not that we're going to give less time to any of these questions, we're going to have to get through it.
Keep it moving. Yeah.
All of these questions are really important. I want our listeners to feel seen, heard, and cared for.
And none of them were told that we were going to do this, so we can always bring this back.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. We can always
I want a part 2 of this.
Yeah.
Keep the questions coming.
Yeah.
This listener said that they they feel shut down by phrases. And we talked about this as you were starting to preface in our What Do I Say episode. But particularly for them, the I know exactly how you feel phrase. So the question is, how do you handle people who compare your grief to theirs? You ready to answer that one?
I am. And because you talked about me being a firecracker and you saw all the fire come up with that one. So with the grief one that I was avoiding,
yes,
there's this aspect of I'm holding my hand up and I'm making a box. We have talked about boundaries, and boundaries are really important. And it's not what you say in that moment, but to normalize that when somebody says something that you disagree with, you don't have to agree, you don't have to nod, you don't have to play along. You can say, that's interesting. I don't know how, but okay. And step away. I often choose to walk away. I don't want to engage. I have a different mug I didn't use that says "Don't engage with cray cray" because it was like, how could you? There's no way you could. So I want the listener to normalize their boundary and walk away. And it's like, I disagree with that, but I'm not going to discuss that right now, or acknowledge it and go like, as Roger said, can we come back to that? Like, I don't think I can discuss that with you right now.
Yeah, totally. I love that. So there's like this aspect of acknowledgement, but disengagement from you.
Disengagement. Yeah. Don't engage with cray cray.
Yeah. I would answer that, and I have answered it, honestly. People love to say, people love to minimize and maximize their grief at the same time. And so because I lost a child, they will diminish their grief in comparison to mine. So let's say it's someone who lost a pet, or someone who lost their house in a fire. Right? And I'm just giving an example that does not exist. It's just coming up in my head right now. And they say, oh, I feel so bad. And they're describing their grief process. And they'll say, but I don't want to compare that to your grief. You lost a child. And my go-to answer is always, thank you for acknowledging the brevity of my pain. But pain is pain. And I will never be the one to compare one person's pain to my pain, or my pain to someone else's pain.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wait, say that again. Now I need to write that one down.
Pain is pain. Pain is pain, babe. And it's just like, I'm not gonna sit here and compare pain.
Right.
I might be equipped differently to deal with my pain than anyone else is equipped to deal with their pain. And so the assumption shouldn't be that my pain is bigger than anyone else's pain.
Aché. Yes. I love that. All right. So can we make this next one the last one because it shifts the energy and we can have fun with it?
I love, yes.
Okay.
Let's do it. And then we'll come back. Maybe at the top of our next episode, we'll finish these couple of ones before we move on to the subject matter or something like that. Okay. Yeah, let's do it. I love it.
We will work it out. So, as you know, my partner being a music professional, a 27-year veteran, as we know. Right. We're going into 28-year veteran.
We are. Yes, we are.
So want to acknowledge that. So this question is divine, and I'm guessing it probably came from somebody in her sphere. What are 3 songs you listen to for comfort? So I'm like, music, I always have to turn the music on before we start recording because there's always music. There's always a soundtrack going in my head, in my heart, in the house. So there's one song, and it's funny, I haven't played it in a while. And when I don't play it in a while, it says, oh, that's good. I haven't been at a low to really need this big level of comfort.
By the way, I'm not looking at the screen because I got to find my songs. I wasn't prepared. Go ahead.
So I'm going to give one. It's Sun Moon Child. Sun Moon Child is by Imani Azuri. And I had never heard of the artist. And the friend who did the video montage of my daughter's life put it on the soundtrack of that song. So that song brings up so many memories of pictures running through my mind's eye of my baby and her life from pregnancy through 15. So Sun Moon Child, because she was a Sun Moon Child. She was an indigo child. She was that kid.
Yes. Yes.
And then there's this really peaceful one that Roger gave me. I was struggling. I was living abroad, and I was like having a rough day. Like as Yvette would say, today is not a good day. But I'm not only not near anybody, I'm in another country. And he sent me a song, and the song is Endless. Endless by Keith Jarrett. And he has a few of them, but this particular one, it was in a live concert. And it starts off slow and melodic with the piano when it goes on. And it feels like you go through this journey of emotions. And it's like your friend that always talks at a whisper, so you really have to listen to them. It starts off at a whisper and then it builds. So that was one where it's like, oh, so Endless. And it was funny, even within the past week, I wanted let me not say it, one of the mini computers around the house to play music, and I couldn't think of a song. And I played this one so much. My niece looked at me and said, Keith Jarrett? I was like, good answer. She's been listening to my playlist around the house. So I was like, you know what? It's normally Endless by Keith Jarrett, but let's see what it plays. Let's play Keith Jarrett. So those are two, and I'll pass it to you.
Okay, so my first one is Alpha and Omega by Israel Houghton, Israel and New Breed. And really just the messaging is Christian centered. Obviously, you know, Israel is a prolific gospel artist, writer, producer, singer. He's in my eyes, he's just anointed, really. And the messaging here is, you know, Alpha and Omega of Jesus's love, right? Like it's omnipresent. It gives you love, and it puts you really, I don't know, for me, it transports me to the essence of that love energy that lives in Christ consciousness. And so for me, it was like every time I listen to it, I feel cradled. The next one is Together Again by Janet Jackson.
Love that.
And that song just gives me hope that I will see my baby again and we will be together again.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And then the last one is Forgive Me for My Empty Breaths, which is a song by my baby, Dasan, who artistically goes by the name O.D. Mongrel. And it was a poem that he wrote. And honestly, it's a letter to humanity. I talked about how I think I told this story, I'm not really sure, but he used to do this practice, this automatic writing practice. And this actually came not too long before he passed away. So a few months maybe, in one of his automatic writing practices, and just to hear his voice.
Oh, wow. That is special. I'm excited. Girl, I'm making me a playlist. I'm not going to make, you know what? I will say it. I was like, I'm going to have a Spotify playlist. It's going to be Evie and Dionne's playlist. We'll let you know about it because there'll be 6 songs on it. We're going to start with 6 songs, her 3 and my 3. My last one is one that you probably heard of by Ty Tribbett because it's also in that gospel phase. And this one, I like the live version again, but all of the versions are good. Only One Night.
Ah, yes.
Because that only one night, and it's like, this is where we're going to leave you with, Yvette and I, before we go to our Aché moment, is that we're not asking you to be healed and whole and happy for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Whatever we're asking you to do, you're just trying to get through it for one breath, one moment, one day, one night. So that song, Only One Night, is like, yes, I'm just going to do just this one night.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. You know, really quickly the other day, I posted on my stories, I was having a bowl of soup.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the world to me on any given moment feels like it's just crumbling, right? Like we're in such troubled times. And I was like, you know what? For today, for this moment, like this exact moment, this bowl of soup is like the great equalizer for me. Like it's just making the world okay and tolerable just for this moment. So I love the essence of that song, and you know, and the direction and the permission that it gives us, which I want to recap our moments, our toolbox moments. So moment number 1 is permission, right?
Yes.
You don't need to earn support. It's there for you. You don't have to suffer silently, alone, and in isolation. Asking for care is not needless. It's honesty.
Mm-hmm.
Grief toolbox number 2, release the replay. Don't sit in your guilt. Don't allow that. The simplest tool to start with is forgiveness. Forgive yourself. The simplest tool to start with is love. Love yourself. Let love lead. Guilt will not find a place in your mind. As Dionne said, in your busy mind. It will not find a place if you allow love to be, you know, to just encompass your brain and your mind and your energy. Brief toolbox moment number 3, gentle anchors. This playlist is a gentle anchor. Music, right? Breath, ritual, routine, consistency. Small grounding practices matter more than big breakthroughs. Progress is what it is. It's not perfection. You're not going to sit here and be over it. It's not going to happen, but you can progress. Light, luz y progreso. There is a light that will lead you to your progress. Step into that light.
Ay, gracias.
With that, we are at our Aché moment.
Ja. Thank
Can
you
we
so
thank
much.
our listeners? Because you're always so eloquent in thanking. Thank our listeners who have participated, who continue to support us, who reach out to us. Like, let's give them a moment for their flowers.
All right, I was getting ready to say my flowers are dried. Easy had the fresh ones behind her, but because I want to keep these moments with me, I need to let you know, listeners, when you reach out, when you DM us, when you text us, those that know us, but those things, we're so excited. We call each other. It's like, ooh, so-and-so said this, so-and-so said that, so-and-so shared a name, you know, and it's like, we feel like we're expanding our family and our community. So thank you for listening. Thank you for reaching out to us. Thank you for trusting us with your grief. Thank you for asking these questions that snatched our pearls and edges and took us into memories that we are willing to share, but to deepen our own personal healing. Thank you for witnessing our grief as we transform it so you can witness your own grief and transform it. And with that, our Aché moment for our new family members is when we call love and light to people that have transitioned. We're always very present to Siwe, my daughter, and Dasan, her son, my nephew, that we'll call their energy in, but other people. So for me, I said to her offline, I know tomorrow is not promised. I know this. But to be under 60 and to see people passing that are under 60 still boggles my mind. And a dear friend of mine, as he's grieving the loss of his husband to cancer, Dustin, so I'm calling in Dustin, that he was like, I never thought I would be a 37-year-old widow, which is what you said about Renata. So Dustin, we say Aché to Dustin and the loved ones he leaves behind. And then person from high school, someone I went to high school with, Aida, Aida Reyes has passed away. So again, folks were sharing pictures and on Facebook acknowledging whatever pictures we have with her. And it was like, how is that happening? So and as much as we sit with grief, Yvette and I are still like, huh? Like, what do you mean this happened? So so my Aché for Aida and Dustin. Go ahead, Yvette.
It's really hard for me today. Off camera, I was struggling to think of someone that I wanted to share an Aché moment for or bring into the Aché light.
I'm going to say, even without their name, say the friends and,
hold on. I was going to get there.
Okay.
All right, boss ladies, just give me a second. Thank you. So what I want to say is I want to encourage all of you that have stayed on until this moment in this episode to just sit back and say out loud the name of your loved one. And I will, with all of my energy, share in that Aché moment for everyone that this touches deeply in your heart, deeply in your soul. And I want to bring light and Aché to your loved one. So please join us in this exercise. And even if you don't want to share it in public, that is okay. Just know that Dionne and I hold space for every single one of you in your grief and for your loved ones. With that, I say Aché.
Aché. Gracias que Dios. You are such a gift to my life. I just want to give you your flowers and thank you for trusting me to be on this journey with you. I love you.
Well, I love you even more. And it's still, what would Dionne do for me? So just know.
All right.
God bless you guys. Be well. Live in your light. Lucy Progreso. I love you. We'll see you at the next episode.
We'd love for you to join the conversation with us on Instagram at 2, that's the number 2, mothers, 1, the number 1, Aché Pod. And produced and distributed by Merrick Studios.
Until next time, may love carry you through.